Again, you got 1,000 new confirmed cases just in Wuhan. Now, why is Wuhan important? Because it is the epicenter, they say, of where this started. Well, at first it was bat soup. Now they've moved to snakes. But guys, there's many of you have commented that there's been a patent on this virus for several years now, and it's come to light that they were developing this virus or working with it in a Canadian lab. Now, this is a level 4 lab, which is the highest on the planet. It can handle these deadly designer drugs, or whatever you want to call them, these pathogens. Some are meant to study, some are meant for more nefarious reasons. But anyway, China found out about Canada's level 4 lab, and they sent a man and woman, a married couple, over as scientists to study and to work there. And they stole this virus, and they were caught, but it had already happened. And they brought it to Wuhan. But once China had developed their level 4 lab there in Wuhan, they brought it over. They got busted. They were escorted out of the building. I don't know anything else about the story, but it's online, and we'll take a look at it very quickly. In other words, this is not a snake. It's not a bat virus. This coronavirus is designed to be probably the most deadly that man has ever seen. And as we go through it, I want to point out some of the things that I've noticed about it. It was released just before the world's largest festival. More people travel for a festival than any other time of the year, the Chinese New Year. And guys, San Francisco's a major city, Sydney, Australia. And it's in many cities worldwide. So the people had started traveling. If you were going to release a biological weapon, or if it was accidental, but if you were going to design it and for it to be unstoppable, there would be some characteristics that would have to be involved in it, and they are. First of all, now they're saying that it has a 14-day incubation period. Now, just happens to be the Chinese New Year's 15 days. And just as in Wuhan, 5 million plus the overnighters had left for Chinese New Year, traveling around the world. And through China also, through Asia, but all around the world. So now you got a 14-day peak. We got a new case in Los Angeles or Orange County, somewhere in Orange County, California this morning that goes along with, we got one up in Chicago, possibly one in Texas, I think, but 3 now, and they're still saying possibly 60 plus that are being watched. Now also, again, you've got what's called, built into this drug, I think it's the most diabolical man-made creation ever. It very well could be the Pale Rider. And I don't.
All right, Shalom. This is Harwan Banyasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Harakah Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Agwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the 4 corners of the earth. Yeah, you heard that was BP Earth. I watch that guy a lot. He talks about a lot of, stays up on his weather. Being in Florida, you got to really watch the weather all the time, And his channel is a good channel to watch if you want to catch up on the weather, hurricanes and shit like that. But, yeah, man, I rarely hear this guy try to go into prophecy or scripture. But he was speaking about the coronavirus. Right, what's the word corona? Corona means king of venom, a king of viruses. The king virus. Now, this strain of virus is supposed to be like the strongest ever, and it has a 10 to 14 day incubation period. So somebody can have it and you wouldn't even know it until after they done passed a bunch of people, went through a train station or a plane, airport or a football game or something like that. You got the Super Bowl this weekend, I think. So you wouldn't even know. They had a cruise ship with a bunch of people. 600 people were quarantined on there. All right, or held up because one person was sick. So the coronavirus is a weapon, like the guy was saying, man. He said it's a weapon, and it was in the labs of Canada, and it just so happened that in Wuhan, in China, that's where they keep all their viruses. They keep them there. They got a lab there, and they're not telling us this on the media. They telling us it's animals, it's bats, it's all kind of shit. In the shop, they never showed us the specific shop. They just try to show you the door. Like, this is the area, shopping area where it came from. Like, yo, these people devils, man. What it is a weapon, man. It's a weapon that's being used against the people. All right. Who's using it? I don't know. But somebody using that shit to crash the economy, cause that sudden fear on the economy, where it caused the Dow to drop 500 points today. All right, Friday. So the 31st of January. So it's a lot happening, man. And this is one of them. And he said, yeah, it's the Pale Rider. He said, this could be the Pale Rider. Esau don't know, man, but they get close to it. But he don't even know. I don't know. I'm not sure if BP Earth is an Edomite, but I'm saying. I'm assuming that he is. But they don't even know that Revelation 6 is about them. It's showing their violence against the children of Israel. All right, all the way up until the last hoorah, to where they bring plagues on the earth, death, destruction, famine. All right, so let's get into it, man. This is Revelation chapter 6, verse 1. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, right? If you go to Revelation 5, it shows you where Yahushua is up in the heavens, and he was given power to break the seals, all right, and bring about the prophecies. And I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder. All right, so that Lamb is Yahushua. And it says, one of the four beasts saying, come and see. And the four beasts, that word beast just means living creatures. So those angels are spirits, living creatures, all right? They look like men, all right? But they're not human. So one of the four beasts, so one of the four angels told John to come and see, John the Revelator. It says, and I saw, and behold, a white horse, man. All right, so he was showing them, just like in Revelation 1 and 13, where it said he saw in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like it to the Son of Man. So now he's seeing Yahushua glorified in his chariot, showing, so that's his chariot, man, the white horse. That's his throne. That's his, not his throne, but when he's coming back glorified, right, in his chariot. And he that sat on him had a bow. It represents righteousness. All right. Had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Let me get a scripture. All right, this is Revelations 19 and 11. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. All right, look at that white horse again. And he that sat upon him, and that word white means to be pure or glittering, a glowing chariot, sparkling chariot. And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true. And in righteousness, he doeth judge and make war. So this is when Yahushua is going to be glorified. All right, make war against these nations. All right, and in righteousness, he does make war. So he controls these wars, and he's going to bring war to these heathens. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. I mean, he's been conquering since the beginning. All right, and when he shows up, he's going to conquer all these nations and put them under his foot. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. That means nobody's going to understand his name in the last days ultimately that are delivered, except for the elect. All right, going to know his name and be in the spirit of truth. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the word of Yahweh. So that word of Yahweh, that's Yahushua. So his vesture is going to be dipped in blood. So this is talking about when Yahushua goes forth to conquer. All right, as I said in Revelation 6. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword. It's like, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean, man. So you're going to have the angels, the four beasts, the four living creatures, the angels, and all the hosts of heaven, and also the elect that have died in his truth. People like Masha, Abba Bivens, High Priest Yaquab, and so on and so on. And Bon Lawyer, any other brothers that passed being in his truth, being diligent. And that may die. It's going to be a lot of people, mass death upon this earth. You're going to have a lot of martyrs. All right? That's why the Lord said, we shall not all sleep. But he said that righteous shall scarcely be saved. All right? So it says that out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword. That's the chariot. All right? That's what he's choosing to do his judgment with, fire. And that with it, he should smite the nations. So when he show up, he's going to go to war with all their armies. All right? Straight from his chariot. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, harshly, man. Harsh rulership. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Yahweh Almighty. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. All right, so Revelation 6:2. And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and that and a crown was given unto him. All right, and that bow represents the children of Israel. All right, he said, when I have filled my bow with Ephraim and bent it with Judah, and so on and so on. All right, now verbatim. And a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. See that? And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red. All right. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. That's deep, man. Now, who was given that power? And that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. So, who is that blessing, that power given to? This is 2 Ezra 6:6. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone. All right, so like verse 11. Then said I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times? All right, so when's going to be the last days? When is going to be the end of this wicked kingdom and the beginning of the righteous that follows, the beginning of Yahushua's kingdom? And when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. All right, and that represents Jacob pulling Esau down from rulership in these last days. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right, so right here where it says, and there went out, verse 4, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given him to take peace from the earth. So who could that be? It's telling you. Let me get this. All right, Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the face of the judges thereof, and if not, where and who is he? All right. So the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. What? The land. They took the whole earth. They changed times and seasons. Messing with the damn elements. Prince of the power of the air. Controlling the media. Controlling the people. Slavery. Now they bring about plagues through beasts, through war, through famine, through crashing of currencies and money, and so on and so on. So they got power over all these elements right now, man, in this earth. Esau, Edomites. All right. So the Lord is giving the earth into the hand of the wicked, and that's why it says Revelation 6:4, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat it thereon to take peace from the earth. Now, who is that? This is Genesis 25 and 24. All right. 23. 22. All right, 21. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren, and Yahweh was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived, and the children struggled together within her, just like they struggled together within the womb of the earth called the matrix. All right, that represents our struggle on this earth together. All right, heaven and hell, the children of Israel being in hell, and that Esau being lifted up. All right. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other. And that's talking about Jacob. We're stronger than Esau, all right, even stronger in spirit and physically. And the elder shall serve the youngers, right? Esau was born first, and Jacob grabbed his heel. So the elder is going to serve the younger in the last days. All right. And that's a prophecy. And it says, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red. There you go. Look at your red horse. That red nation. Red power, which is Esau, power on the left-hand side. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. All right. So he wasn't red and hairy. All right. It represents the dyed garments our people used to use. You see that? We used to dye our clothes red with berries and different things like that. Crimson red. So that's what this represents. You can see his blood through his skin. And that's Esau. They have no carbon in their skin. Today, you can't tell who's who, but the originality of Esau is leprosy, having no carbon in their skin, called Caucasians or so-called white people. All right. Or pale skins. And it says, so he came out red. All right. It says, let me get this. Revelation 6:4 again. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. All right. And that's what they did, man. They took peace from the earth. Let me get Maccabees real quick. All right. So this is First Maccabees 1:1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, had smitten Darius, the king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. So he's the one, Alexander the Greek. He's the one that really established the Greek Empire, the Edomite Empire, and then going on to the Roman Empire. And he took peace from the earth. All right. That's what really, got them in their power seat through, what you call that? The Aegean dynasty, which was Alexander's family, Macedonian dynasty. And then you had the Syrian Empire, the Diadochi with Antiochus Epiphanes. And then later on with the Triumvirate and the Senate, the Roman Empire and Caesars. So that's how they built their power up. All the way up until today with the European Union and NATO, America. All right, so that's their power seat. But when did this happen with Darius III? All right, Darius III was known as the last king to hold Persia. And Alexander did a slaughter against them a siege against them that lasted 4 years from 334 BC all the way to 330. All right. So that's when what's his name? Alexander really took his power seat. All right, taking down Persia and already being king over Greece. All right, 3 years prior. All right, so he ruled until about 323 BC. Now it says, in many, so Alexander made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted in his heart and was lifted up, man. So what does that sound like? So he took over the whole earth, the whole known world at that time. All right. And went through to the ends of the earth, man, took spoils of many nations. All right. And insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, man. Isn't that something? Whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. All right, Revelation 6:4. And there went out another horse that was red, Esau, and power was given to him that sat thereon. See? To take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword, right? Because Esau was always in that spirit of their blessing. Hold on. All right. So this is Genesis 25. I'm gonna get this point right here. All right. All right. Now this is, if you're in this truth, you already know the story of Jacob and Esau from Genesis 25 to 27. How that Esau gave up his birthright for venison, and then later on Jacob imitated Esau and went up to Isaac and got the blessing. You know. Now check this out. Genesis 27:30. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And Esau was a cunning hunter, just like today they're hunting, going around the earth in the spirit of Satan and the spirit of the devil, seeking whom they may devour, doing all the works of Satan with all lying wonders. All right. It says, I am thy son, thy firstborn, Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that have taken venison, and brought it to me, and I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him, yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me, O my father, right? And that's why the Lord said, even though Esau sought repentance carefully with tears, he's not going to be forgiven. All right. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob, meaning supplanter? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Have thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac, I'm going to skip down as I get to the point. It's taking too long. Here you go. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, meaning they're always out in the fields hunting in the world, right? And the dew of heaven from above. So basically everything that on the earth. And by thy sword, there you go. So he had to be given the sword. Right? given the power to destroy. And we've been given the power of life, the power to build and edify. They've been given power to destroy. All right. And by thy sword shalt thou live. All right. So they live by the sword. We live by the truth, by the spirit of righteousness and meekness. And so by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. All right, and that happened after King David, rulership of King David. You had there was Edomites that shook off that. We had them under our foot, so they shook off that rulership, and they came out and began to conquer the world. All right, but it says it right there, man. He was given the sword for his blessing. All right, so Revelation 6:4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. All right. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. All right. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand, right? And that represents us going into bondage in Babylon. All right, going into slavery. Them putting a yoke of iron around our neck. And the black horse represents what? Being void, deaf, spiritually dead. Our people were in darkness, groping in the dark. All right. All right. So it says Revelation 6. And now if you want to understand into that, you can read Zechariah 5. You also could read Revelations 11. All right. I just want to move on with the lesson though. And lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. Now, balances represents Esau putting that yoke of iron on our neck. That's us being in captivity. All right. So right here it says, where is it at? It said balances, a coupling, servitude. All right, servitude, a law or obligation. So they put laws upon us and obligations upon us, man, in slavery, since slavery. All right. Also, literally, the beam of the balance as connecting to scales, a yoke that is put on a draught cattle. You understand? So it says of troublesome laws imposed on one, as that of slavery. See that? A pair of balances, pair of scales. So Revelation 6:5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. This one we had a cutoff point in 70 AD, but coming over here into slavery, we were put to death, like walking around dead upon our feet, and in darkness. All right, until the light shined upon us. So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 27. Because thou servest not Yahweh thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, right? Our people were being wicked. So the Lord judged us and put us down under Esau. All right. He said the least, the enemy that is within thee shall get above thee very high. All right. That's earlier in this chapter. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee. All right, so the Lord sent Esau against us in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. All right, and that yoke of iron was put upon our neck until what? This is Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. So our people became what? Spiritually darkened, deceived, right? Destroyed through physical death and through spiritual death. So they put our people to sleep, man. All right, and that goes to Revelations 11. You see that? It says, well, also our Lord was crucified in the great city, America. And meaning crucified, meaning what? X'd out. So they blotted the name of the Lord and the truth out of the mind of our people through slavery, and they hid it. All right, they hid it from us, man. Wouldn't allow us to read. All right, took us into bondage. And now you see our people sleep today, man. You know, being homosexuals, being wicked, being idolaters, being murderers, all right, moving in the spirit of Esau and these heathens and their own wickedness, basically moving in the spirit of Satan. All right. So he said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So that's how they destroyed us, man. All right. All right. So that's Revelation 6 and 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. All right. So the power was given to Esau to rule the world, and also the children of Israel, the apple of the Lord's eye. They took us into bondage, put a yoke of iron around our neck, and destroyed our people. All right. And it says this. All right. This is Revelation 6 and 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. All right, it's probably Yahushua speaking. All right. And he said, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And that's when you go into the anointing. All right. And this word. So the word is still upon the earth, and the anointed are still here. All right. And that bloodline of the anointed is still here. So the Lord kept that intact all the way to the end. All right. For us to be born today and be in this truth. All right. So this is Ezekiel 9 and 6. All right. Because the angels are controlling everything. So, but check this out. Ezekiel 9 and 6. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. All right. So we were put into bondage. But our forefathers that were in slavery were allowed to have children for us to be here today. If not, we wouldn't be here. So the Lord had to protect that. And also the word, all right, the scriptures and his spirit. All right, he sent his spirit upon the earth. So he said, touch not my anointed. All right. And that's what times we're coming into. All right. You have the, what you call Wall Street that was built off of slavery. All right. But also you have Esau's work, but then you have the elect's work, which makes them the oil and the wine, which is the righteous. But then you have the penny, all right, wheat for a penny. So he's talking about what? The work. All right. Matthew 20 and 1. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers in the vineyard. And the vineyard represents this work, all right, of the children of Israel. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into the vineyard. All right. So, and he went out about the 3rd hour and saw another standing, so that's the agreement for the penny, the kingdom. All right. So all the work that we do in the society for the Lord is all for the kingdom. All right. Each one of us, no matter what level, we all fighting for the same token, the kingdom, the penny. That was the agreement, the reward. all right, and to get new bodies. All right. So this is Revelation 6. And in 6, it says, "And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." All right. This is First Chronicles 16 and 21. "He suffered no man to do them wrong. Yea, he reproved kings for their sakes." See that? "Saying, touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm." All right. So that's what he's saying in these times with the angels, telling the angels when they bring the destruction on the earth, don't allow Esau's wickedness to spread to his elect. When they're bringing about these viruses upon the earth, all right, and when the angels bring about the viruses and all these different things upon the earth, they're saying don't let it hurt the elect. That's what Yahushua is saying. All right, and that's preparing for what? The last phase, the last hoorah that Esau is going to have on Jake. And this is it right here, Revelation 6 and 8. You see that their whole existence towards us has been nothing but violence and trying to destroy us and destroying the earth and oppressing the people. Revelation 6 and 8. "And I looked, and behold," so this is after slavery, after the Lord has woken up his elect. All right. And now we're in that time of the pale horse. We're going into it now. All right, with the coronavirus, the famine, the dollar collapse. The Dow Jones just crashed 500 points today. All right, in the midst of a recession. So that's gonna bring what? Famine and disease. All right, more disease. They found 200 disease up in the mountains of the Arctic. 200 viruses that they never seen before. So hey man, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and it represents green and yellow or something like that. All right, pale horse. So that represents what? The military, Pentagon, the world armies. All right. It says, "And his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him," man. All right. So death. So they bring about. So they enlarge their desires as hell. Right, as Esau. And also, and hell followed him. So what's that? The word hell means sorrow. So they bring in destruction and death and sin, and death through their sin and greed. And where they go, hell follows, man, sorrow. All right, so that's what's happening right now. They're going to bring a lot of death upon the earth, and sorrow is going to follow after that. All right. "And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword," see, to live out their blessing, the sword, "and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth." So they're using hunger, famine, to get people to take the chip, and they're going to use death, the threat of death, killing people, and through sin, and with the beasts of the earth, through sending beasts in different areas, animals, running them out of the woods, running them out of Australia. Here in Jacksonville, I'm going to do a lesson on it later. They got fucking herpes monkeys. I tried to tell my father about it earlier. He started laughing at me on the phone. I'm like, yo, they got monkeys out here running around with herpes. And they loose here in Jacksonville, Florida. Probably hard to believe until I show you the lesson later. But big ass monkeys done invaded Jacksonville, Florida, and reached the coast of Florida. And it's an invasive species. So they like lizards and fucking roaches and shit. And big males and, somebody just shot one on their yard the other day. So that's Esau moving these animals into different areas, burning down their shit. What you have, and also coronavirus, all right, deals with the venom of animals. So they're sending out plagues, putting patents and brands on these plagues, man. The coronavirus is a patent. All right, somebody owns that. People like Bill Gates, man. He's one of the biggest people that's going to reap reward or money from this coronavirus, man. All right, I'm going to do a lesson on that as well, Yahweh Ratazah. All right, so that virus has been spread around the whole earth now. And it ain't going to do nothing but get worse. It's going to keep going. All right. Now, so they've been given that power for these last days. All right. This is Isaiah 66:16. For by thy sword and for by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many. All right. So the Lord is going to use that sword, a spiritual sword, and also use Esau to slay many. And Esau is going to be slain too. This is Proverbs 16:4. Yahweh have made all things for himself. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to Yahweh. Though hand join in hand, he shall not go unpunished. All right, so Esau is set up the same way Pharaoh was set up for the Lord to show his power in destroying Esau around the four corners of the earth and their power seat. All right, so just because the Lord created Esau to be a whipping stick to the children of Israel, and also to show his power. All right. So Obadiah 1:8. Shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mountain of Esau? And he's doing that. All right, destroying Esau's understanding with his word. His word is like fire, man, consuming fire. All right, and the people are wood. They're being what his word is making this worldly wisdom foolishness to the Most High. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be destroyed to the end, that every one of the mount of Esau shall be cut off by slaughter. So at 1,000 years, Esau is going to be cut off through that slaughter. All right, the blessing of Jacob. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So it's not a good thing to be in that seat of the murderer, the scorner, the thief. When the Lord shows up, yeah, they're getting off on us. They trampled us under feet with the residue, and they destroyed our nation. And even to today, they haven't power over the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, but he shall be saved out of it. That's what the Lord said. But that's not a good thing for Esau. What it is a trap for Esau. And it shows them to be what they were created to be, the wicked. All right, and the nation that's going to be given no repentance. This is Psalms 10:15. Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man. All right. So the Lord going to break the strength and power of Esau, man. All their deception, their lies, their spirits that leaped out the mouth of the dragon like a frog. You know, their money, their financial system, their banking system, basically, their religious systems, philosophies, and their military. All right, their military alliances. So it says, break thou the arm of the wicked. So the Lord is breaking their strength, Esau, and the evil man. All right, so these heathens and Esau. Seek out his wickedness till thou find none. So the Lord is digging it out like a cancer, all the way to the core, all the way to the root, which is going to be the Illuminati, the elites, all the way to Satan, the spiritual demon Satan. Yahweh is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of his land. Yahweh, thou hast heard the desire of the humble. All right. Thou wilt prepare their heart. Thou wilt cause thine ear to hear, to judge the fatherless and the oppressed, that the man of earth may no more oppress, man. All right. So the Lord's going to stop Esau after that pale horse, that he won't be able to oppress the earth anymore. So that's the last hoorah for Esau, man, the pale horse. When they bring about death, destruction, famine, plagues, pestilence, all right, through the animals and the beasts. All right, it's not chemical. What it is a poison, a virus, a venom from animals. All right, I'm gonna end it with this. Isaiah 54 and 17. And you heard what BP Earth said. He said it's a weapon. It's like the ultimate weapon besides the nukes. Is that virus? It's called the King virus, the coronavirus. Corona meaning crown, and virus meaning venom. All right. Isaiah 54, and he represents the spiritual venom too. So it represents the serpent, man. All right. Isaiah 54 and 17. So that's a weapon, just like the missiles. But that weapon, what? The Lord said he's going to protect his elect from those pestilences, man. And from death, he shall redeem thee. So if it does get you, he's going to keep you from dying. And if if not, he's going to keep you from getting it in general. He's going to protect you. So we're in that time where the Lord is about to give his angels charge over his elect. We literally in that time right now, today. You know, you had the Brexit happen, and he said in that time he's going to build up a kingdom. All right? Upon the earth. It says what? No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. All right? So Esau is going to form their weapons. They're going to form their missiles, their diseases and shit like that. The martial law, but none of that's going to prosper against the Lord's wine and oil, his hopeful elect. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh.